The zero moment. There's a moment, you know the one, that moment where you look at your life and everything has gone south. It's not just a single problem, it's not an isolated crisis, it's everything, and you have absolutely no clue what to do next. So, you do what we always do. You go looking for answers. You hit Google, what to do when everything goes wrong. Self-help books, motivational podcasts, therapists, coaches, and everyone repeats the same lines. Be resilient, practice gratitude, starting over is a choice. And you try, you really try, but there's something off about that advice. It doesn't work, not because you're not putting in the effort, but because when everything truly falls apart, you're in a place that no one mapped out for you. Why the manuals fail. Let me explain why that advice never sticks. Manuals exist for predictable situations. How to build a bookshelf, how to bake a cake, how to get over a breakup. They operate on the assumption that the situation has a name. Someone has been exactly where you are before. There's a tested, step-by-step process. But when everything hits the fan at once, you aren't in a labeled category. You're at a unique intersection of collapses, a crisis that exists only for you. Sartre has this brutal quote, "You are condemned to be free." Freedom here doesn't mean power. It means nobody can tell you what to do. Not God, not a manual, not a therapist. You're entirely alone in your choice. And when everything is falling apart, that loneliness is terrifying. Because everyone wants someone to just walk in and say, do this and it'll fix it. But there is no this. There's only you, in the dark, without a map. And that's exactly where the only manual that actually works begins. The one you're about to write.
The first question, what's still standing? When everything goes wrong, the first thing your brain does is generalize. Everything is over. Nothing works. I'm a failure. But there's one question that breaks that cycle. It sounds simple, but it's actually radical. What's still standing? Not what you lost, not what should be working, just what is still there, right now. Maybe it's just that you're still breathing. Maybe it's that you have a place to sleep tonight. Maybe it's the fact that one person still picks up when you call. Or maybe it's just that you still have this body, this mind, in this moment. Viktor Frankl survived Auschwitz. He lost his wife, his family, his dignity, everything. And inside that concentration camp, he realized something that changed psychology forever. They can take everything from you, except one thing, your freedom to choose how you respond. That's not a motivational quote. It's the only truth left when you've lost it all. What's left is you deciding what to do with what remains. So the first line of your manual is this: identify what's still standing. Not to pretend everything is fine, but to know exactly where you can start rebuilding.
The second question, what can I do today? The second question is even simpler, and because of that, it's harder. What can I do today? Take a shower. Eat something. Reply to one message. Walk for 10 minutes. One single thing. Not because this is going to fix your life, but because the smallest action breaks paralysis. And movement, even if it's microscopic, creates a sense of direction. The Stoics called this amor fati, love of fate. It's not about passive resignation, it's about taking action within what is actually possible. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Now for the strangest question, and maybe the most important one. What is this teaching me about who I am? Not, why did this happen to me? That's a trap. Not, what lesson is the universe trying to give me? The universe doesn't care. The real question is, who do I become by going through this? Because here's the brutal truth. You aren't coming out of this the same way you went in. There is no going back to normal. This collapse has changed you, permanently. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Nietzsche famously said, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." When everything goes wrong, you discover things about yourself that success would never reveal. You find out what you actually value because you lost everything that didn't matter. You find out what you're capable of because you were forced to go beyond your limits. You find out who stays because a lot of people will leave. And in the middle of the ruins, you start building a version of yourself that didn't exist before. So the third line of your manual is, ask the collapse, what are you teaching me about who I can be? Because in the end, you'll look back and realize you didn't find the manual, you became the manual. Kintsugi, the golden repair. The Japanese have a technique called kintsugi. When a vase breaks, they don't throw it away. They gather the shards and they join them back together with gold. The vase doesn't go back to being what it was. It becomes something else. Is it more fragile? Maybe. Is it more beautiful? Definitely. When everything goes wrong, you don't find a manual. You become the gold in your own cracks.